Hi everyone! Today's topic is the one trait that you look for in a spouse, that you look for in a boyfriend or girlfriend, that you look for in your boss. And it is the same across the board, regardless of what relationship you're engaging in, from one team to another, from one organization to another. You want and need this trait in order to have a healthy foundation to the relationship. And that one trait that we all strive to be and we all look for in others is trustworthiness. So how do we create trust? Well, if you recall back in the day, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Sean Connery in a film called Entrapment, I believe it was in the 90s, they say, first we try, then we trust, before doing like a bank heist and all that. Not really the most trustworthy of behaviors, but either way, this expression stuck with me since last week, since I rewatched the movie. And essentially, the first we try, then we trust is something that I thought, no, that doesn't really work. It's good to go into a relationship with trust, yes, and it's good to try things out, but what about all the circumstances that are quite frequent where you can't necessarily do a trial run in order to determine if you want to trust someone? How do we as individuals actually make the decision to trust others? This topic was very intriguing to me, dug into it a little bit further, found this great book published in 2011 by Robert F. Hurley called The Decision to Trust. Trust is a very complicated topic, and yet what Robert F. Hurley does is he breaks it down into 10 different factors, 3 of which pertain specifically to the person making the decision to trust, and the other 7 pertain to the situational circumstances. So what are the first 3? You want to be able to say, when you're ranking on a scale of low to high, you want to be able to say hi to each of the first 3 as the person determining whether they trust another. And the first of which is whether or not you have a high risk tolerance. The second would be that you want to rate high to would be if you have a high level of adjustment. And the third would be a high level of power. If you can say hi to these 3 different factors, you're likely going to be more willing to make the decision to trust someone or another party. Which then brings us down to the situational factors. Maybe you are a very trusting person. You find that you can adjust easily, you have a high risk tolerance, and you feel like you have quite a bit of power in your own personal circumstances. Well, then let's look at the things that maybe you don't have as much control over. And that's the other 7. The first of which is situational security. You want to know that your job isn't at risk if you don't trust somebody or something. So you want to be able to rate that as high. Situational security should be high. The next thing would be similarities. You want to have apparent similarities. That makes it easier for you to trust another party. Interests. You want them to be aligned. If your interests are aligned with another party's, odds are you're more willing to trust them because it's that spirit of team, we're both pulling in the same direction. Benevolent concern. That's just one that needs to be demonstrated, that they actually care about you and your circumstances, even if it's different than what they're striving toward. The next 2 would be capability as well as predictability. You want to be able to rate both of those as high. Very important that you deem the other party or person as capable, as well as predictable. You don't want to have any surprises. Which brings us to the last factor, which is communication. And you just want it to be good, which usually means frequent and at the right level of detail. Each of these 10 factors you want to write as positive or negative when assessing them, and whether they are present or not present. This then, at the end of assessing these 10 factors, provides a roadmap to where you can start constructing more trust with this other entity or this other person. Trust is multifaceted and it takes a lot of work and time. So might as well start today, get a move on, and start creating environments that build trust and draw trustworthy people into your lives. No doubt it will make you happier and more successful. That's all we have time for today. I would love to hear your thoughts and keep comments on the YouTube channel. Remember, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you next week. Thanks!